Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. Today we're going to talk about something that I did this summer, a little project that I called How to Save Money by Making Your Own Vanilla. And I called it that kind of as a joke because I didn't feel that I was actually saving money, but here it turns out I did save money. In fact, I could have made money. So it's really exciting that I'm technically in the black with my vanilla making. So I'll tell you my story. Usually my store, Standing Chimney, we're not open after the first Saturday of December. So the first Saturday of December is our last day open. And then we're closed through December, January, and February. And we pick up again in March. So that's kind of like my rest from baking season. You know, I don't really go out and stock up on my products, materials for mixes and baking and whatever. I kind of let those dwindle down. So I went out in January, I think it was, towards the end of January, beginning of February, to a local store we have here that's called Gordon Food Service. And they sell, it's called catering quality food, but they sell some bulk items, large items for baking and things. So it's everything they have is really good quality. And they sell Tone's real vanilla, which is very good quality vanilla, in pint bottles. So in January, when I bought my bottle of vanilla, it was $9.99, okay? So I used that vanilla, and I had a lot of baking orders, cookie orders, and oddball things. And for some reason, I think we had some big cupcake orders too. So we used up, we're getting, the vanilla's getting down. So I go back over to Gordon Food Service in March to buy the same bottle of vanilla again, the same Tone's vanilla, and it has a tag on it that says $19.99. Now I thought it was a typo because, $9.99, if somebody could make a mistake, quite possible. So I go up to the register and I said, hey, I think this vanilla's got the wrong price on it because, I just bought this in January. It was $9.99, now it's $19.99. So this lady checks the price, and it takes her like 15 minutes of my life. And so I was getting rather impatient. Finally, she finds out and says, no, that's the correct price. She said, the price just went up. And I thought, yeah, my luck. The price just doubled, right when I'm ready to buy vanilla. So I needed vanilla, so I had to buy it. They kind of had me over a barrel, and I had to buy the vanilla. But I was really mad. So imagine how mad I was when in the beginning of June I needed vanilla again, and vanilla was now $34.99 for the same bottle. Same bottle that was $9.99 in January and $19.99 in March. By June had gone up to $34.99. And I was like, okay, I'm not buying that. That's crazy. So I decided to make my own vanilla. Now, here's the thing, and I'm sure those of you that cook or bake regularly will know this. When you look up recipes online, as I like to do when I'm doing research, people are crazy. I mean, people put these recipes online that they can't possibly work. I don't know. Do they just make them up and write them? That's kind of why I started this podcast, because I was so tired of seeing, I'd look up a recipe for something and it'd be some crazy ingredients and just didn't make sense in the techniques and whatever. I'm like, this person never made this. They're just writing down what they think you do when you make this. So that's kind of what I was finding with vanilla. You'll see everybody's got some little twist or turn in their vanilla recipe, and it's just crazy. So I'm trying to figure out how to do vanilla, and I was asking people and not getting answers. Like, people are like, yeah, I make my own vanilla, and then they tell you zero. So what I found was a video from the Barefoot Contessa show, and she had a thing about how she made her own vanilla. She didn't give a lot of instructions because there's really not much to it if you just do it the very basic way. And so she had a video and showed how she made vanilla. And basically, she takes vanilla beans and puts them into a jar of vodka, okay? That's about all there is to it, really. She puts them in a dark place and lets it sit until it turns into vanilla. That was her video. It was, like 20 seconds long. No big deal. And I thought, well, that's easy. Why can't somebody just tell you that? Just put some beans in a jar, put some vodka in there, and then wonder how long it takes to make vanilla, because nobody said how long it takes to make it. So I thought the best way I could find out for myself, and the best way I could help other people find out, was to start making some vanilla. So what I did was I went online to Amazon.com and I found vanilla beans. And the ones I found actually are from a supplier that's in the state of Pennsylvania, where I live. I think they're about an hour and a half southeast of where I live, actually. So the shipping wouldn't have been too much, but it was free shipping anyway because it was Amazon Prime. So I got what do you call it? A shrink packed.
Vacuum sealed?
Yes, vacuum sealed. I have to make up strange terms for other things, so I got a vacuum sealed package of 10 grade A Madagascar vanilla beans. And when I bought the vanilla beans, I bought them in, the last week of June 2017, and they were $35 with free shipping for the vanilla beans.
So it was the same as buying a pint of vanilla.
Yes. Well, yeah, not in June. It was a little bit more, because in June they were $24.99, the pints of vanilla.
I thought you said they were $34.99 in June.
No, $24.99. Did I say 34?
You said 34.
I may have. I often say the wrong thing. Quite often. A little too often. Probably I need some sort of help. So, anyway, June, $24.99. Okay, so I buy the vanilla beans, $35. And I thought, wow, that's kind of expensive. And then I bought a bottle of Nikolai vodka, which is like a lower, it's not the cheapest.
It's like a mid-range.
Yeah, I would say it's a mid-range. And it's actually Nikolai's good vodka, I think. So I bought a bottle of Nikolai, and I would recommend, if you're going to make vanilla, they have vodka that comes in a plastic bottle.
Don't get that.
Don't get that vodka.
My sister got that kind of vodka when she was making, it starts with a T, those things she was making with
tinctures.
Tinctures. She was making some tinctures because she was making homemade soaps and stuff. And she got the cheapest bottle of vodka possible. It came in a plastic bottle that would move when you squeezed it. We opened it and it smelled like cleaning liquid.
Like poison.
It was so bad. Don't use that for anything you're going to consume.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go that cheap. So I thought, I'm getting a glass bottle. I'm not a fan of buying alcohols and certain things in plastic bottles. I would rather have glass. So I got the Nikolai vodka, which was just right around $8 for a fifth of vodka. And a fifth of vodka is a fifth of a gallon. So a gallon has 4 quarts in it. So a fifth of a gallon is slightly less than a quart. So, it's a nice size jar. And you could actually, the Nikolai jars would have been nice enough that you could have just put the vanilla beans right in there and not even taken the vodka out. But I had these really nifty bottles that I got lemonade in from France with a porcelain stopper and a rubber gasket on the top. And I thought, ooh, those would be really cool to put the vanilla in. So that's what I did. So I got my first pack of vanilla beans. And if you go to my Facebook page, Mary Mac Bakehouse on Facebook, I have some videos on there of making the actual vanilla. And that's what I did. We did some live videos of me making the vanilla. It kind of worked out pretty good. So the first bottle was whole beans. I didn't split them. I didn't cut them. I didn't do anything. I took the whole vanilla beans, 10 beans, put them in the bottle, poured the vodka in, and then I put it in my alcohol cupboard in the darkness.
You put enough vodka in to cover the beans.
Yeah, I put enough vodka in to cover the beans. So I actually had a little tiny bit of vodka left because I think the Nikolai bottle might have been, maybe it was a 2-quart bottle. I had vodka left over.
Yeah, because I think between the first 2 bottles of vanilla you made, you used 1.5 bottles of vodka.
Right. So it must have been a little more than a fifth. However, still, if you took those 10 beans and dropped them into the vodka bottle, I think it would be fine, So that's what I did. I put the beans into the jar, and like the Barefoot Contessa said, I filled it up with vodka until the beans were covered. they're not covered right now, so I'm working on a plan to do something about that.
Well, you've been using that vanilla.
Yeah, I've been using it. So it's really good. But anyway, it didn't get real dark because the beans weren't split, obviously. But it's dark. It's a nice amber color, and it looks good.
And it smells amazing.
It does. It just smells amazing. So that's why I did the first bottle. And then I thought, I'm gonna try it with splitting the beans from top to bottom. Try a bottle like that. So the next maybe like week or 2 weeks later, I got another order of vanilla beans. They were still $35. So I bought another order of vanilla beans, and I got another bottle of Nikolai vodka. And this time I took the vanilla beans and I very carefully took a sharp paring knife, and I started at the very tip of the bean and I split it the whole way down, and I just put the whole bean in. Now, this is where things get tricky, because when you start reading these vanilla bean recipes, people scrape the insides out of the beans and they just put the outside of the bean into the jar and keep the gooey stuff for something else, or they scrape the gooey stuff out and put it in the jar. What a lot of messing around. Just split the bean and stick it in the jar, okay? And what I found out was when you split the bean and put it in the jar and add the vodka turns dark. It gets a very nice color like what you're accustomed to vanilla looking like. However, the flavor didn't change at all, and it didn't become infused faster. The vodka did not become infused faster. It's taking the same amount of time. The only difference is the color is a richer color than the uncut beans, which is kind of interesting. And the thing about the uncut beans is what the Barefoot Contessa did with them was snip the end off and then squeeze the insides out to use in, I think what she was doing was whipped cream was the one thing, or whipping it up for something. Then she stuck the bean back into the vodka. So that's kind of nice, because you could very easily, with the split beans or with the whole beans, you could use some of that inside, like if you were making a vanilla cream or a type of a vanilla dessert that called for that. So that's a very handy, useful thing to be able to do. So on the vanilla beans, after I've ordered 2 packages, so now here we go, just for a little running total. We've got 2 packs of vanilla beans at $35 a pop, that's $70, and 2 bottles of vodka at around $8, that's $16. So I now have $86 into my approximately, let's see, what do I got in there? It's just about 4 liters of vodka, probably 4 liters of vanilla, rather. So I've got just about 4 liters or 2 quarts. Is that right? Am I screwing this up?
I don't know how to convert liters to quarts.
Pint. Okay, let me just simplify this. Because I'm American and I can't do a metric conversion in my head.
A pint is 2 cups, right?
Yes.
How many cups does that look like?
Actually, it's each of these is about 2 pints. So that would be about a liter.
Okay.
Okay, I messed myself up. So I have approximately 4 pints of vanilla that I have made with 2 packages of beans and 2 bottles of vodka. So 4 pints of vanilla, and my total expense for that is $86. However, my cost per pint is $21.50 for me to make it. And what did I say vanilla is right now? $38.99.
Well, in June, when you made these, it was $24.99. And this is $21.50.
Right.
So you're already ahead.
Right. So
even when it was cheaper.
Right. At the time that I made these, it was a little bit cheaper to make it. Mm-hmm. And I actually thought at the time, oh, this is going to be not cheaper at all, but I thought this is the time to do it. And now it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot, even with the price of vanilla beans having gone up a little bit, it's a lot cheaper to make your own vanilla. So when I jokingly called the show Save Money by Making Your Own Vanilla, and I had at one point, when I was done, I had $214 into it, and I was cracking up.
If we had stuck to vodka, we would have saved money.
Yes, if I would have stuck to vodka, that's right, because I got this harebrained idea, which I'll get to in a minute. So anyway, by the middle of July, I had 2 bottles of vanilla going, And I was updating about every week on my on the Facebook page, and watching it and working it and smelling it. And I'm running out of vodka. Like, I'm not running out of vodka, running out of vanilla. While I'm waiting for this vanilla to be done, I have no vanilla left. So I started buying these little teeny bottles because I thought I refuse to buy those great big bottles of vanilla that are $25 or whatever. So I was buying these little small bottles from like Aldi. And the thing that I noticed when I was buying the vanilla in the grocery store, and I have some bourbon vanilla here that I use, a small bottle of bourbon vanilla. I'm looking at them. They have water in them. They mix the vodka with water and then put like, what? You're charging me all this money. You're charging me $5 for a teaspoon of vanilla in some little peeny bottle, and you got water in there?
We can make bank.
I'm telling you. But I'm not doing that because I'm a good person.
Well, and we probably need a liquor license to sell vanilla.
That's true, but I could sell it, and I could make a coat, with little pockets in it for all my little vanilla bottles and hit the streets, Psst, buddy, you want to buy some vanilla? See, I could do that. If you did that in the strip district, like around where the bakery stores are, I'm telling you, you'd have people lined up. Okay, we'll have to try that experiment.
That's how you get caught, when people start lining up to your illegal operation. You don't want to be that popular.
Point noted. Thank you. Thank you very much for pointing that out to me. Curses foiled again. So, as I was doing my vanilla videos, somebody put a comment on my Facebook page and said, "Hey, I always make my own vanilla, but I use rum. I use white rum." And I said, "Oh, well, that sounds interesting. White rum, huh? Yeah." So I thought, I'll get some delicious white rum, and I'll make some delicious vanilla with it. So I did. The white rum was around $16. I got a bottle of Captain Morgan white rum, which is, delicious. This time, I followed the instructions on the vanilla bean package, which I'm not going to say, okay, the vanilla bean people are off their rocker, because, okay, maybe they are. But they advised that you take the vanilla beans and cut them up into half-inch pieces and put them into the jar and then put the alcohol in. So I thought, well, I'll try that. So I did. And it was a little, vanilla beans, when you cut them, you get sticky off of them and everything smells like vanilla. And I thought, I feel like I'm wasting my vanilla aroma, whatever makes the vanilla aroma. I thought I was kind of wasting it. But I thought I'd give it a try. And again, the vanilla beans are cut, but the stuff is inside of them. So one of the things that I noted is that it turned brown fairly quickly, and it's a nice, dark, rich brown. But it, in all honesty, is not done faster than the other vanillas. It's actually, what I do is I pop the cork on them every once in a while and smell. And this bottle was made on July 19th, and it still is, I don't feel like it's done. And it's so funny because you get to a point, like when you're smelling it, you smell alcohol so strong and a very light scent of vanilla. And it's really funny because you actually get to a point where all of a sudden you'll take that cap off and smell it, and it'll smell just like vanilla, and it does not smell, it doesn't have a strong alcohol smell. It has a stronger vanilla smell. And it's actually, this one bottle, the split beans that I had done the second week of July, the first week of July, I noticed just like last week made that transition. So that's a really kind of a neat thing.
Would you like the running total so far?
Oh, my running total, yes.
Okay, so the first 3 bottles would be $137.
Okay.
Divided by 6 pints of vanilla would make $22.83 per pint.
Still saving money, even though I bought the more expensive rum.
Not much, but we're saving money.
But I'm not going to mix the rum in with the vodka. I don't want to do that. I thought that might be kind of a weird thing. And also the rum, it's really interesting though, because the rum vanilla thus far, and like I said, I don't think it's really hit that transition, but it has that sweet, heavy rum smell in the background. And I think that's going to be a really interesting vanilla to use, especially in cookies, because I think it's going to really give this, there's going to be this background flavor that's going to be very, very good, I think.
I think it'll be really good for like a tropical kind of cupcake.
Yeah, yeah.
Like to use the rum vanilla in.
Yeah, I think so, or an icing.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to use that one. But I think this is probably going to be maybe towards the end of October. And I honestly think one thing I read said that it takes like 1 month. The one thing I read said it takes about 1 month, and that's not right. It takes probably 3 to 4 months, I would say, probably at least 2.5 months. My one bottle, I had to start using it because I had an emergency. I used it a little bit before it was done, but then the next time I ended up using it, it actually was good. So I would say, because you figure like July, August, September, yeah, I had to use my first bottle at 2.5 months, and it ended up being all right. It actually ended up being all right, but it's still, I think it's gotten better, so that's a good thing. And like now that the first two are done, what I'll do is combine them and take those beans and start a new bottle, and get a new bottle going, because I have done a lot of reading on that, and apparently you can take your beans and keep reusing them, and you can also just add like 1 or 2 new beans to the jar, and it kind of refreshes everything. But according to the Barefoot Contessa, who has a bottle that's been going for years and years and years, that's what she does. She just keeps putting, she drains out of it and puts more vodka in it. So it just basically lasts forever, because the alcohol works as a preservative for the beans, so, Mm-hmm. Now, the last jar. Oh, the last jar. Well, I thought maybe I should make a bourbon vanilla, because there's a distillery nearby here they haven't been in business for a very long time, but a friend of mine has a friend who has this distillery that he built in the hills of Sewickley, north of Pittsburgh. When I say the hills of Sewickley, that is not an exaggeration. You could be, if you didn't know, you'd think you were in Tennessee driving through there. It's so windy and hilly and terrifying. So we decided that we would get a bottle of bourbon that was made in the hills of Sewickley, and we got one. We went to the McLaughlin Distillery, which is a really neat little place they built. It looks like a little, what did you say?
I said, it looks like a place that you would buy moonshine, and you can.
Yeah, they have all kinds. They even distill. They even do vodka there. Actually, they make vodka. Mm-hmm. So we got a bottle of bourbon, and if you may know that bourbon is very, very expensive, very, very expensive, horrifyingly expensive, make you cry expensive, very expensive. So this was pricey, but it takes a long time to make it, and it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that you would charge that much and do that. So our bourbon jacked our vanilla pricing way, way up. So we bought another pack of beans.
Were they still $35?
They were still $35 with free shipping. And we bought a bottle of bourbon that rolled in at about, with tax, just over $73. Yeah, that's our most expensive one. So I was trying to find some recipes to do with our vanilla-infused bourbon, and I found about 4 different cocktails that you can make with it. So we'll post a couple of those just for interest. But the bourbon vanilla, people use it it's used in a lot of southern type of cooking. For example, pies, like what's the one? There's a sweet potato pie, and there's another one that
pecan pie?
The pecan pie. So they use them in that. They use it in that, and it's also used in, there's some cakes and cookies that are more Christmas time recipes that the bourbon vanilla is used in. So I thought, that'll be interesting. I'll do that, and I've used bourbon vanilla for other things, so it does have a little bit of a different flavor. But like I said, the bourbon vanilla that I bought, that I paid a lot of money for, has water in it. And that was really disappointing, because you definitely don't need water in it to make the vanilla. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't add to the flavor. It doesn't get more out of the beans, as people say. Nothing.
It gives the people selling it more profit.
Yes. Yes,
what it is.
and they probably tell you that for, and they're like, that's why we put the water in it. No, it's not watered down. In the bourbon vanilla, I thought, I'm just going to go with the split beans. So that's what I did. And bourbon is already a pretty golden color. It's like the color of maple syrup. So I added the vanilla beans, and it is very dark, our bourbon vanilla. It's very nice and dark. It has a very nice smell, but you can really still get the bourbon. So I think it may take as much as 6 months for that to really develop a good flavor. But it has a nice smell now. So I'm going to let it go and let it continue to develop. So that's our 4 bottles that we got.
And how much does vanilla cost now?
The vanilla beans, I just now checked the price, and it's from the same company that I got them through Amazon. The package of 10 grade A vanilla beans, Madagascar vanilla beans, is $40.95 now.
Well, how much is it in a store?
Vanilla in the store, I was just at Gordon Foods last week, and the bottle of vanilla was $38.99. 38 for a pint of vanilla, $38.99.
Here's our running total, including the bourbon vanilla.
Okay.
$245 total, divided by 8 pints, is $30.62 per pint. So we're saving $8 still. Even pint, even including the bourbon.
Even including my crazy expensive bourbon.
Yeah.
So
we're
that's
still saving money.
So see, I did save money by making my own vanilla. I'm hoping to, I've already actually used it for things. I should have mentioned that last night. I did an event at Bed and Breakfast in Pittsburgh, right in downtown Pittsburgh, that's called the Allegheny Inn. It's a lovely old home on the north side that's been converted into a bed and breakfast. They have 3 rooms and a suite. So it's a really nice place. And I did cookies for them last night, and I used my first bottle of homemade vanilla in those. But I've been hoping to use it and tell people, hey, this is my vanilla in here, just so people can get a chance to, have a taste of it, see how it is. But I can't wait to do that, especially with the bourbon vanilla, to make some maybe shortbread with it and let people taste that. But I have no idea where I was going with that comment. But I have been using my vanillas, so I feel very confident in telling you how I've made them and how well it worked, so that you would be able to do that and not have to look at all these online recipes and go, oh, is this how you do vanilla? Is this how you do? I have to do this, I have to do that. And people
they all contradict each other.
There are people selling a thing called a vanilla infuser, which is a glass bottle with 3 vanilla beans in it. And they're selling this thing for like $35. And I think, it just makes me so mad. It makes me angry, because it's almost like making money off of the misfortune of others. You're going to sell a little bottle with 3 vanilla beans in it so people can put a half a cup of vanilla in there and wait 6 months to have their own vanilla. What? So really, if you did this yourself, if you did, as I said in the beginning, if you ordered your 10-pack of Madagascar vanilla beans, split them and dropped them individually into a bottle of Nikolai vodka, drop them in there and sealed it up and let it go, in 3 months you'd have vanilla that you could use. And it would be less expensive for you to make that. That would cost you
much less
about
expensive.
$43 for the Nikolai vodka is a little bit bigger of a bottle, so you would get over 2 pints of vanilla for with the current cost of the vanilla beans at $40.95. It would be right around $50 for probably, I would say, almost 3 pints of vanilla. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong there. So if you're planning on doing a lot of holiday baking, it's October 1st today that we're recording. So if you were planning on doing holiday baking, boy, you couldn't get it in for Christmas if you did it right now. But...
Well, if you split the beans, maybe.
Well...
split half, leave half whole.
Yeah, if you got it going now...
Yeah.
You could you'd be cutting it close, but it'd be okay.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, I would definitely do it.
They'd definitely be good for January.
Right. As I said, this has turned out, it's very easy. It's very easy. It's splitting the beans is a little bit tricky, but everybody makes it sound like you're going to cut your arm off or something, and you're not. It's just a matter of holding the tip of the bean and, splitting down it with a knife.
The hardest part is remembering to shake the bottle every day.
Yes. I keep them in my a cupboard, in my alcohol cupboard, and I try to remember to shake them up every couple days, then I forget. My alcohol cupboard is a nice, fun family joke because
it's a liquor cabinet.
It's an alcohol cupboard where I keep alcohol inside of it so I can shut the doors, and I enjoy calling it an alcohol cupboard. Just because one time I said, gee, I wish I had some sort of a cupboard that I could keep alcohol in. And one of my other children said, oh, you mean like a liquor cabinet? And I said, no, I don't mean like a liquor cabinet. I mean like an alcohol cupboard. So, henceforth, as it is mine, my piece of furniture, I will call it an alcohol cupboard. And so it is, and so it shall be. And it works really nice for keeping your vanilla in to grow dark. So keep it in a dark, cool place. Shake it up every once in a while, which is what I do when I proudly get it out and look at it, and I shake it up and hold it up to the light and enjoy it. So it's been a delight to do. So I encourage you, make your own vanilla, for goodness sake. Save money by making your own vanilla. I can't see if the price. I honestly can't see the price coming back down. I've heard there's a. What did they tell me?
You said there was a vanilla bean shortage?
There's a vanilla bean shortage, not necessarily, but there's an impending vanilla bean shortage because I guess the plants that the vanilla beans come from are experiencing some sort of a problem with a fungus. Now, there's other types of vanilla beans you can get that come from other areas. So the Madagascar beans are the ones that are the most popular to use. And it's probably the most recognizable vanilla scent. There's also beans from Mexico that are very popular, but the Mexican vanilla is different, and it's got a little bit of a spicier smell to it. It's not the flavor that you would expect from vanilla. It's a little bit different. So I would definitely recommend getting the beans from the Madagascar beans, and the grade A, you might as well get grade A, because if you're spending that much money, you might as well get the good beans. So that's my advice, and I hope you do try it. I hope this is helpful. Hope the podcast is helpful. Like I said, I would ask people and they would go, yeah, I make my own vanilla, and that's it. Like, really? What do you do? When people think things are so easy, like, oh, it's so easy, I shouldn't have to tell you. You just do it. But it's not that easy. It's when someone says to you, oh, it's easy, I always think like, oh, this is just going to be a disaster. So I work the kinks out for you, and I hope you give it a try. I think it gives you a good personal sense of accomplishment when you look at your money-saving vanilla. That's what I look at my little army of money-saving vanilla. It's so exciting.
Be sure to check us out online on Facebook and Instagram at Mary Mac Bakehouse, on Twitter at Mary Mac Mixes, and on our website, marymacpodcast.com. And you can see us in person at Standing Chimney coming up.
Yes, Standing Chimney is open October 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then when we hit November, we're open every single Saturday in November.
And on the 19th, we have a pie day night, which you might be using some of the vanilla for, actually.
Oh, yeah, I'll try to find some pie. I could make that weird pie.
Yeah.
I have that on a podcast. A weird little pie. It is a weird little pie, but boy, is it good. Mm-hmm. Hey, that'd be good with the bourbon vanilla.
That won't be ready yet, though.
Ooh, no, but the next pie day night.
Mm-hmm.
Next time we do a pie day night. The reason we call it pie day night is because Beth thought it was a really cute name and wanted to have something called pie day night.
It's never on a Friday night, though.
No, never. So it's just pie day night for no reason in particular. But thanks a lot for listening if you did, and if you didn't, too bad for you.